SEO. Jude from England, who's a Click Millionaires member, writes me asking about what's my #1 hot tip for increasing search engine rankings. The #1 hot tip for increasing search engine rankings, Jude. She says, I've recently had article spinning mentioned to me and wondered if you could explain what this is and whether this is a valid approach. Many thanks, Jude. Well, welcome to Click Millionaires, Jude. It's great to have you. And, well, first let's talk about article spinning, but that's not my #1 tip. My #1 tip is actually even easier. So quickly, article spinning is where you write an article, and this is a part of the article marketing approach to online marketing, a perfectly valid, well-established, accepted, and functional way of spreading the word about your online business. You write an informative article, maybe 200, 300, 400 words, and it should be a real article, not just a promotional puff piece, but something that talks about you and the information that your audience wants to know. What problems are they trying to solve? Be honestly helpful. And then at the bottom, you add a byline. I'm Scott Fox. I'm an online marketing and e-commerce strategy expert, and my website is scottfox.com. And that sort of little tag at the bottom. Then when anybody reads that article, they'll see your tag, and that will draw business for you. Plus, there will be a link in that tag back to your website, which can help with SEO. So then you take that article and you submit it out to article banks like easyinarticles.com or Go Articles. And other people actually pick up that article, maybe, and publish it on their own sites. This can get you publicity both by republication of the article and through the links that I mentioned. A good 1-2 punch and a very effective way of marketing. And a traditionally well-accepted one. I still continue to recommend article marketing. So article spinning, I don't recommend so much. Article spinning is when you actually take the content of the article and flip it around. You take synonyms for a lot of the words. So if your title was 8 ways to ride a bicycle better, then it might suddenly become 8 methods to improve your bicycle riding. That sort of thing. And throughout the copy, meaning the body of the text of the article, you continue to spin the words. And there are actually programs, software, that will do this for you. And it can insert synonyms and change the words for you in order to make what seem to be very similar yet different articles so that you can submit them again and again. That's the idea behind article spinning. So I guess it's not illegal or anything, at least if you wrote the article originally. It's just that it leads to really weird content sometimes, because if it's software driven, some of the synonyms can be very strange. So you can imagine if it went too far, your article about bicycle riding might turn into an article about unicycle riding, or something that wasn't quite what you meant. And that could go out on the web, and if you're not careful, it can be kind of weird. And it just doesn't look very classy. It could still give you the links, I guess, but it's not on my first rung of SEO techniques. Now here's what is my #1 technique, and this is a really easy one that I think anybody can do. In fact, I know you can do. If you're blogging, and this is true for pages and articles as well, here's the easiest tip that you can do to improve your search engine ranking, and it is simply to use your keywords as the very first words in the title of the article or blog post. So again, if your article was about bicycles, don't bury bicycles as the 5th or 6th word. You might say, 18 clever things I learned on my trip to Tuscany about how to ride a bicycle. Now that's certainly better than not having the word bicycle in your title. But it would be better to say, bicycles, 18 things I learned about riding them in Tuscany. Getting that keyword right up front helps the search engine and helps your human readers quickly identify the main topic of the article. I've used this technique myself to quickly rank articles and blog posts frankly, in very competitive niches that I didn't expect to get ranked. But when I took the keywords out of the middle or the end of the title, or certainly out of the body, and put them very first, it really makes a difference, at least for Google. And of course, Google pretty much runs the world at this point. So that's a tip that I would suggest to you. Figure out what your keywords are and put them first. Now, this is obviously at direct odds with copywriting advice in many cases, because copywriting is a different approach. If you're trying to attract people's readership by being interesting and provocative, then you are probably going to mess up your copywriting by sticking the keywords first. It makes for awkward English. I don't know about Japanese or Arabic or some other languages, but at least in English, it's a little stilted to suddenly stick a couple big nouns in the front and then a bunch of verbs behind them. So I would be careful. Don't make it too ugly. But putting those keywords first is a great technique for search engine optimization style marketing, perhaps not copywriting marketing. But the best thing about it, it's easy to do, very easy to do, and very quick, and it's free, like a lot of the tips that I talk about here on the Click Millionaire Show. So that's going out to you, Jude. Thanks for joining ClickMillionaires.com, and I hope to see you again soon in the forum there at ClickMillionaires.com.